So, you guys are finally straying to the dark side. You guys clicked this video because you want to build Kazio the Revery, one of the SR characters in Etheria Restart, which I think is just really imbalanced. And I don't actually use her at all. I pre-ban her almost like every single game. But I'll be showing you guys today how you guys can cosplay as Darth Vader and basically use this character in a Bruiser / standard playstyle and kind of just, win games very easily, but at the cost of your sanity. Now I'm going to say, if you do plan to use her, make sure you guys private your profile. You're going to get some nasty DMs from people because everyone hates this character because she's really strong. And by strong, just kind of like overpowered, honestly. So she has this S3, right? It's not really broken. It's just, a sleep, a CC with attack down. Pretty strong, honestly. Her passive is extremely broken because when you attack anything that sleeps, so same with your S3, you will push back turn meter. And the reason why this is so strong is because she has this S1. This S1 is a 2-turn sleep. This is like absurd. I've played Epic 7 for like 7 years now, and anything with a 2-turn CC is just instantly imbalanced, like giga broken, and it's not really any different here because you have a 2-turn sleep, which you push back, and also she doesn't wake anyone that's sleeping. So yeah, really absurd character. I think she's probably at the top of the list to get nerfed if any of the characters get nerfed after the season ends, because everyone and their mothers complain about her. I like to call this character the Chinese water torture character because when you play against her, it feels like you are just getting Chinese water tortured, with her just dropping water on your head with her S1 and slowly winning after like 20 minutes. But very strong in the current meta because she plays around the Etheria effect very effectively. You kind of just stall to the point where your damage just ramps up, and then you start killing eventually with Jackal Guard. You can play her in a lot of playstyles. You can play her in CC, you can play her in Cleave, mostly because they're intertwined, right? She has a lot of CC obviously, but also her Slumber makes you do more damage to sleeping targets, so very good with anything that does AoE like Rin, Messiah, Yelian, stuff like that. So just a very powerful character. However, the build I'm going to show you, like I said, is the standard Bruiser playstyle one. This is like honestly the most frustrating one to play against because, you kind of just stall the game out till Etheria effect happens and then you kill a character instantly at like 60 turns or 80 turns or whatever. Basically, she solo controls everything and then you just nuke a target down. So this is the build people are running her on. I think people are running Bloodbath, Bulwark, Swift Smite. Actually, I know they are for the most part. If you're running, her in turn 1 in like Cleave CC, you just want to go, Swift Rush plus X plus Swift Smite, probably Bulwark, right? And either on Codex or Jackal Guard. But this is the Bruiser build. You're going to run her on 2 effect accuracy. You can run 3 if you want. I personally would prefer to run a defensive one if I actually played her. But I know some people run 3 to CC better. And honestly, it's pretty good. You don't really die with Bloodbath anyways, so very good option. I think it's honestly better, but I have her on an HP bonus one. This is my build for Guild Wars defense, actually, so surprise, you guys can come attack my Kazio now. And for the shell, you pretty much have to run her on Jackal Guard. For Cleave and CC, like I said, Codex is fine as well because you have other sources of damage, but Jackal Guard is super broken because this follow-up attack it does a lot of damage. It doesn't wake up sleep when Kazio the Revery uses it, and also when she actually uses the Jackal Guard effect, it will proc her passive and push them back again. So really oppressive. You can select the target that you want to Jackal Guard and that'll do the extra damage, and then you'll push back even more. So very good on her. Also the speed buff and the turn meter push is very important to make sure that you're lapping and CCing everything. Now in terms of your passives, you want to go speed. Shadow Dash is pretty much required. First one, you want to go HP percent, defense percent is fine as well. For the last one, I have Insight. This is more for like Cleave or CC oriented builds. This shell I actually use on Holden, which is why it's on Insight, but instead of Insight, what you want to go actually is Gaze. So the reason why you want Gaze is because in the Bruiser like matchups, you're not going to always land your CC at the start because of FRES, but if you have Gaze, you'll eventually get to the point where this stacks up enough where you'll be able to CC the healers that are on high FRES builds. And also because, Insight doesn't last forever, it's 3 turns. So you will be able to, control those Ling Luos, those Sanyas and stuff like that with quite ease if you have her on Gaze and ramp it up. And it is very easy to ramp up, right? You just kind of want to you know, just live, which is very easy on the setup, and you have Jackal Guard to help you cycle faster, so yeah, she just ends up kind of solo carrying teams later on. Very oppressive character. If you guys want to build her, this is how you do it. Just not fun to play against, honestly, and not really fun to play with, in my opinion, but if it's what you guys want to do, be my guest. I just will not talk to you anymore. Just kidding. But yeah, I'll show you guys some games where you can see how oppressive she is. I think I'm just going to show you the games where I just get completely owned by her because I don't really pick her, and you're going to see how frustrating she can be to deal with. So I'll show you guys the battle. Finally, I'm on the right side, like the side that looks like you guys are playing from my perspective. But you're going to see this Kazio is on pretty much the same build. I think it's on 3 effect accuracy, which is, like I said, probably better. But you're going to see that I don't really get to play the game, and it's not even a full control team. It's a standard Bruiser versus Bruiser standard matchup. And the reason why she's so oppressive is because you just get CC'd for 2 turns, and Gaze is just so broken that she eventually gets enough effect accuracy where she just beats my Insight F-Res healers, and mine is going to be Sonya. So this is like the one game I didn't pre-banner, and then I had my Sonya here on full F-Res, and I was like, surely I'll be able to wake up and win. But you have to realize, with Jackal Guard, she gets like basically 2 turns to sleep you, because she laps you, and you know, it's just really annoying. And even if I get woken up by like an AoE attack, you're gonna see that it's gonna do a ton of damage because Slumber increases the damage you take, right, when you have it on you. But you're gonna see, like, even in this situation, it looks pretty good, right? I'm about to kill the William, I'll be 4v3, and in theory, you know, it's gonna get to a point where I just kind of overwhelm 3 units with 4, right? No, you're gonna see why. But yeah, here I kill the William here. And now, unfortunately, Kazio S3's up, and wow, unfortunately, it lands on my Sonya, and the Jackal Guard goes into it, so it gets pushed back even more. So I can't take the turn and heal, and of course, all my other units are taking a little nap. And now, I try to push my Sonya up. I do resist once, which is great, so yeah. I mean, at this point, the damage is already done. I'm pretty low. But even then, you know, I should be able to win with this S3 from Chiaki, right? So you think. And I did even twin trick my Sonya because I was like, screw this Kazio BS, I'm gonna, you know, lap, take some turns, and yeah, it's not gonna happen. But yeah, honestly, I don't think you really want to pick her with like a Tiamat because you can't really control that well. You also probably don't want to pick her with like a Rahu because Rahu will wake up the target when he follows up after. But here I'm like, oh, for sure I'm winning, right? No way I lose this, right? No. The sleeps, you know, I just don't get to take my turn. When I do, I'm just taking so much damage. It's just very fun. You know, the Bloodbath build on Kazio makes it so that she can never die. At this point, you know, I'm like, oh, I should have twin tricked my Holden. Maybe that was a mistake. And now I get slept on Holden, so I can't kill. Of course, she gets healed up. And with Jackal Guard's speed buff, you can see she's about to lap, like, almost everything. And yeah, so not really much to say. And even here, you might be thinking I'm gonna win, but I already spoiled it. I lose. You can just see with the Etheria effect ramping up, we're at effect level 3 with 70 actions. I'm not able to really heal as much anymore. And yeah, you know, with Kazio, since there's 2 debuffs, with Sonya, you know, there's RNG whether you cleanse off the attack down or sleep. Honestly, if I did end up cleansing off the sleep, I probably would have won if my Holden was awake here, because I can just one-shot her. But now it gets to the point where Gaze is ramped up, and my Sonya is just about to get perma-controlled, and can't really do anything. So yeah. Usually, you know, you might be thinking, oh, I picked Holden, they have Tiamat, there's no way I would have won. Usually when you play the Bruiser matchup, if you have Lily on your side, you just win, even if you're like elemental disadvantageous. well, I'll just spoke very fast because you just get so much more damage off. But no, I can't. So yeah, that's Kazio, guys. If you guys want to build her and use her, there you go. You know, very strong character. I honestly think she might get nerfed because literally everyone in like the high elo community is like complaining about her. And I also complain about her because, yeah, I really hate this character. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Please don't build her.